All right, so this chapter is one of the most important in all of Kings, okay? It explains how and why Israel, the northern kingdom, is conquered by Assyria and taken into exile. It marks the tragic end of the kingdom of Israel because of its persistent sin. The first part of this chapter covers Hoshea, the last king of Israel. Hoshea becomes king of Israel in Samaria and reigns 9 years. He does evil, though not as much as the kings before him. He is vassal to Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, paying tribute. But Hoshea conspires with Egypt and stops paying Assyria. Okay, so Shalmaneser imprisons him and invades the land. After a 3 year siege, Samaria falls. In 722 before Christ, Israel is taken into exile to Assyria. Okay, so after centuries of rebellion, the northern kingdom comes to an end. Second part of the chapter covers why Israel fell. The writer gives a long explanation. Israel sinned against the Lord who brought them out of Egypt. They worship other gods, followed the practices of the nations, and set up high places. They made idols, calves, Asherah poles, and even sacrificed their children. They rejected God's prophets who warned them repeatedly. They hardened their hearts and clung to sin. So the Lord removed them from his presence, and he had warned. Only the tribe of Judah was left, but even Judah did not fully obey. The exile was not random, it was the direct result of covenant disobedience, okay? It's a long chapter. So the third part of the chapter covers the new settlers in Samaria. The king of Assyria resettles people from Babylon, Cutha, Ava, Hamath, and Sepharvaim into Samaria. They don't know the Lord, so God sends lions among them. The Assyrian king sends back a priest from Israel to teach them the ways of the God of the land, okay? But the people mix worship of the Lord with their own idols. Each group make its own gods while also giving lip service to the Lord, okay? Also giving lip service to the Lord. So this mixture of religion becomes the roots of later Samaritans, a blend of Jewish and pagan worship. So what are the key lessons from this chapter, from the Second Kings chapter 17? The first lesson is persistent sin brings judgment. Israel ignored centuries of warnings from prophets until exile came. Second lesson, God's covenant is serious. Blessing and curses in Deuteronomy are fulfilled exactly. Third lesson is idolatry corrupts worship. Even after exile, the new settlers tried to blend God with idols, showing that divided worship never pleases him. Never pleases him, okay? And the final lesson is God rules over nations. Assyria thought it was in control, but Assyria thought it was in control, but ultimately God was fulfilling his word. So in summary, Hoshea, the last king of Israel, is imprisoned by Assyria and Samaria falls after a 3 year siege. The people are exiled, fulfilling God's warnings. The writer explains it was because of Israel idolatry, child sacrifice, and rejection of the prophets. Foreigners resettled the land, mixing pagan worship with their superficial acknowledgement of the Lord. The northern kingdom of Israel is gone forever, okay? So, in the next chapter, Hezekiah, a godly king of Judah, brings reform and faces the threat of Assyria. We'll check this in the next chapter.